So the question is, we are going to go on this one and ask you, where did you put the money? So when you add this column of, according to when we do that costing, and we can cost it. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's go one by one. We go to number 4. You had equipment for remodeling reception area, Kampala campus, footsteps furniture. For remodeling a reception, you had a budget of 200 million. You awarded a contract for almost the full amount because it is 199 million.2. You had venue for back course retreat, marking. You went for marking. Eh? You go on Bari Campus View Hotel. You had a budget of 200 million. You spent 197. You had supply of toilet. What is this supply? Is it toilet what? Supply of toilet? What is this? Toilet papers, air freshener. All right. You had a budget of 192. Market price was 191. You spent 189. Assorted office stationery, 200 million. Market price was 122. Spent 188. Footsteps Furniture Limited. No. Petitions on legal aid clinic. And here you had no budget. And you spent money. You see where you now have problems. You do not have a budget for this in the appropriation. You went ahead and spent 159 million. So you took over powers of parliament to appropriate money. You see, madam, here it shows you have no budget, but you spent 150 million. Tell me, did you get a board resolution or what? Who authorized you to do that, accounting officer, sir? For an activity where you had no budget, you spent a whopping 159 million. And you are petitioning an aid clinic in the Lira campus. It was not a costed activity. You had an appropriation. You spent money on it.
Chair, I'm looking at these figures, and I need to really get back to the documentation on how it was approved, where the sources of funds were.
Yeah, because here you had no source of funding.
I believe it must have been there. Maybe
now I have, this is from you, sir. You had no source, you went ahead and spent money, 150, 100 and almost 60 million. A venue during back course professional dinner, Kampala, Imperial Royal Hotel. You had a dinner there. You had a budget of 100 million. You spent 105. Okay, where did you get the 5? So you had venue during senior staff retreat, Global Safari Lodge. Where is this? You had a budget of 100 and this figure is stamped with, read for me the figures here. You had the 130. So what is the figure in Form 5? 105. What was the award price? 101. So you have a saving of amount. You had drinks, dinner, drinks, ushers during back course professional dinner. Ushers, what is this one? This is venue for senior staff retreat. Yeah, the one at Imperial. Let's get this. You had venue, because here, can I get this item? You had venue during back course professional dinner at Kampala. Is that correct?
Yes, Chair.
And venue alone, you paid 100 million. You paid 105. Then you had now dinner, drinks, ushers during back course professional dinner, Kampala campus. You had 100 million. You paid 90 million for ushers and the drinks.
Chair, these were activities that were done in the academic year. At times doesn't rhyme with the financial year. So within that academic year, we had 2 different professional dinners. But yes, so these are to do with the venue, to do with the drinks, to do with the meals at the indicated venue.
So venue alone, you paid 100 million.
That is everything. Everything. Venue, meals, everything.
But this is a different expenditure down again. You have dinner, drinks, ushers during back course professional dinner, Kampala campus.
Yes.
There is another 92 million here. You paid.
Yes.
And you are saying that on top of 100.
It is a different graduation. It is not the same graduation. Yeah.
How do you convince us?
We shall provide the
because
document.
Now
it is
this
not the
one
same
you
activity.
Now this one you had without a venue. This expenditure of 92 is without a venue.
It was at LDC, so we had to hire things like the tents in that parking area. And yeah.
Honorable, do you now have that form? Yes. Can you separate 9? Convince us that 9 is not attached to 11.
They are not attached, Chair. They are 2 different activities.
Are you sure? Yeah. Because what comes up here is that you had venue during bar. This is what it is. 100 alone. Then you come back here, you do drinks, dinner, drinks, ushers, 92. Can we go to 12? Desktop and laptop computers. You had a budget of 90. How much money did you spend? You have stamped there. I don't see.
91.
91.
That was forms contract awarded 91.5. Different activities. We just, like I said, the paperwork is there. Yeah. We have to get the documents.
Can we continue? You remember, sir, you've got to convince this committee that 11 is not part of the 9. And then you justify how you pay a venue for 100 million. This is what it is. how you just pay venue to this Imperial Royal. Were you hiring the whole hotel? And for 100 million. Let's first go through everything so that you know what we talk about. Desktop and lab computers, you had 90 million. Then repair and services, LDC motor vehicles, 80 million, you paid 80. Branding, photocopying and video, you had 64. Photographing and video, 94. You've got also to convince us whether this activity of branding, photographing and video are not part of the functions you are having in Imperial Royal. Because what were you branding, what were you photographing, what were you video taking? And that takes the expenditure for those functions out of, and here you are spending 77 million on photographs, on branding and videos. Then you have publicity equipment at Kampala campus. You have also publicity, again here. You budgeted for 76. You spend 9. You budgeted for 56, spent 75. Uganda Online Law Library. You had 70 million, spent it all. The next one is server and endpoint protection license. 100 million, you spent 69. Nani Salongo, you add for me a total for this price according to procurement plan. When you add those totals, do they equal to 5.2 billion? When I add this column of column 1, is it the same as 5.2?
No, the auditor was just picking randomly. For example, for furniture we spent 500 million, 550 million, but then here we have like about 300. He was just picking randomly.
No, he picked those that he questioned and he left out some. But
so they can't be equal to the 5.6 billion. Chair.
Yes, Honorable Collector, I think I've had a go at can members now jumping.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, looking at these totals and listening from the accountant when she says that it can't add up to that because the auditor chose what he chose to look at and left out some. First of all, I would request that this market survey report should have been supported with evidence of the invoices, because these companies give them the invoices. So we could look at and compare, because if you give us this, we don't know whether it is what was in the invoice, because those documents should have been attached as annexes so that we can consult them in regard to these figures. And I expect that this being an institution of law, they always want us to give documents, evidence-based information. So, Mr. Chairman, I beg.
But, Madam, according to this annex, Appendix 2, when you look at Appendix 2, the 17 procurement.
Sorry, I was mistaken. I thought you were talking about the whole procurement budget.
No. I was saying
that is okay.
In accordance to Appendix 2, the whole procurement of the 17 is equal to 5.1 billion. I was simply asking, Madam, if I add column 1, does it equal to 5 point? What's the difference? It's 4.6 billion. Madam, do you get what I mean? Yes. Is that appendix 1, which the auditor looked at, when you look at the contracts award, you have 5.1 billion. Now, when you look at the appropriation for those 17 procurement, it's 4.648, a whole difference of nearly 600 million of amount of money you spent that was not budgeted for on this procurement.
Honorable Chair, before the accounting officer comes in, I don't know whether accounting officer
Make sure you double check
you picked interest in the meaning of this whole audit in regard to failure to conduct market surveys, especially in the area of works. Honorable Chair, for supplies, somebody can somewhere somehow forgive you, but just imagine circumstances where you undertake works without initially conducting a market survey. That means you did not have bids of quantities, there was nothing in place. Then for you have a figure in the budget. That's why, Chair, when you look at activities like, for example, rehabilitation of access road, garden and landscaping playground, when you look at your figure in the budget of 2.3 billion to your initiation form 5 of 3 billion, your final contract value of 2.8, you have literally a difference of close to the 640 million the Chair was talking about. So where do you get this money when there is a difference between this and the budget? Where do you get the money? And for any serious accounting officer, how do you allow, to budget for works without initially having an insight into what you intend to do? That also goes to the same activity of renovation of LDC building, Kampala campus. You had 430 in the budget, and then you awarded a contract at 295, close to, slightly half. So this means your whole budget was misleading. So, Honorable Chair, and he goes ahead to admit that there was no market survey. But for works, how can you make such an error? Honorable Chair, this comes back even to the procurement herself. How do you have these put in the procurement plan without clear figures? First of all, this is fraud. It's misleading. And the accounting officer knows how do you start committing, making such huge commitments, having a budget that is not representative. Because, Honorable Chair, you cannot allow a difference of 640 million between a budget and the awarded figure. In any case, where did you get the money? So, Honorable Chair, when you do categorize these of their 17 items in terms of works, services, and supplies, accounting officer, I don't know whether you can give sufficient explanation as to why you went ahead to mislead Parliament, because these are submitted to Parliament during the time of processing of the budget. So these, at the end of the day, there is underperformance, overperformance. That is why when you look at 2.21, there is a variance in the contracts that you awarded of close to 11 to 55%. And in any case, does the law allow you to have variances of beyond 15% in any contract? So, Honorable Chair, for me, I fall short of giving any comment on the seriousness of the accounting officer in regard to his mandate when it comes to the procurement sector. And the other one is, I doubt how many people do you have in your procurement department. For me, I've come to doubt the competence of your procurement team. I don't know, but from what we are observing here, one comes to doubt whether you have a competent professional person who ought to have guided you, that from the time of planning you are misleading us, that would have moved you to the user department to give you something that is literally representative of what they intend to do. So, Honorable Chair, we can take any other thing for granted, but for this area, whoever relaxed on duty must be held 100% accountable for the negligence on duty.
Honorable Sala, then
for instance, that Like here.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, when you look at item 4, equipment for remodeling reception area, Kampala campus, 199 million shillings. I am wondering what equipment they were procuring to remodel. So what are these equipments that you are procuring to remodel the reception area? This is the item here. Equipment for remodeling. So you have experts here who needed equipment to use to remodel the reception area. Can I know what equipment this was? And it's footsteps furniture. The same footsteps furniture, staff furniture, procured was 300 million. Now, when you move down, partitioning of legal aid clinic, Leader campus, footsteps furniture. There was no price according to the procurement plan, but 159 million was awarded, Chair. That is item 8. So you had no price for your procurement plan, but you went ahead to award the contracts. My next concern, Chair, I need clarification on that. My next concern, Chair, I know we all went to these institutions. I am just wondering, venue during Barco's professional dinner, and then dinner drinks, item 11, during the Barco's professional dinner, Kampala campus. When I was at Makerere, Chair, when we would have such events, we actually pay for them. We are asked as students to pay. So I want to know whether students did not pay for this. And if they did, how comes you now utilized public resources to finance this? Or did you collect that money and it went to the consolidated fund? Because we often pay for them. Even when I was doing my master's, such events are paid for. Maybe it is different here. I want to understand. And then publicity equipment at Kampala campus. The procurement plan price was 56 million. You went ahead to spend 75 million. That is item 15. Can I know why? And what kind of equipment are we talking about here for publicity? Publicity equipment. So, Chair, can I understand those maybe before I ask my next question?
Can you also try in the same vein, try to understand what is branding, photographing, and video? Because they relate to each other.
Yes, there is branding, photographing, and video. Same exquisite. You paid them 77 million shillings for taking photos, for videography, and branding. But here you were, again, from the same contractor, procuring publicity equipment. And the equipment is costing 75 million. The services costing 77 million. How possible is that? That I come and take footage of your activity, videos, photographs.
And you buy me the camera?
Yes. So can I understand? Thank you very much.
Chair, I beg to have an interface as well. In the same vein, I would like to know one about equipment. Now, you bought them, are they available? Do you buy and they take them away, or you have them available, all the equipment to use for the publicity and the others before? We need to see if they're around.
And for the reception modeling.
We need to see the equipment if possible. And then also, of course, about the online library. Do you pay this yearly, or is this something, what is this all about, the payments given in a tune of about 70 million for the Uganda Online Law Library? We need to know some details about that as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just want to interest myself to where you stopped. You see, Chair has been repeating, did you come to Parliament? Did you consult Parliament? As a matter of fact, as government, we run a cash budget. It means we are constrained with available resources that are needed by MDAs, like yourselves inclusive. And we rely on the key provisions that come from you. That is your work plan, which, as among others, comes with a recruitment plan, and it comes with a procurement plan. That is what we rely on. And because of the stampede for resources, we take you seriously in what you have planned. I want, Chair, you to interest yourself in the two. You had a plan of 371, and you instead only absorbed 299. So it means you locked out resources that should have been absorbed by other entities that are all the time denied resources by us through appropriation. So when you are not very consistent in the plans you give, you're depriving other entities of government of the would-be resources. So you look at 2, you look at 3, you budget for 371, you end up with the 299. You budget for 430, you end up with the 295. Some other schools or where would have got these resources. So I think, Chair, there was a lapse here, and this is the one thing that you should take very, very seriously. If you've not done the market survey, if you've not positioned your plans very well, I think you are not good to go as far as holding resources that are depriving the rest of
but on the
MDAs from
committees of Parliament, like education, that approve these budgets. Do they really look at these things? Because how come that this can escape a scrutiny of a sector committee to reach this level, where an entity has budgeted for branding, equipment for modeling, and the committee says it's okay, a report is ready to Parliament, it is approved. Mr.
Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
But that's on our side. That's on our side. We will take on these chairs. Because even the chairs of parliamentary committee that gives you this money cannot just put on coats and ties and honorable colleagues and walk away. Because this is bordering on fraud, if it isn't. Sir, now, before we even go ahead, let's call this to really. You've got to explain to us, sir, where you got the 600 million. Okay, they are low-hanging fruits. Where you got the 600 million that you spent over and above what was appropriated, and who gave you the authority. Secondly, like an item, you've got to explain to us, because this company called the foot what? Furniture. I want to know from the car, is it still contracting work here? Is it still contracting work here? It seems to have a footprint. There's this so-called branding and whatever, where you bought for them equipment, then they charged you on photography and video, yet the equipment is by you. And before, because I'm now to the accounting officer, the accounting officer, once a procurement is brought to you, you cross-check with appropriation before you appendix a signature. And to the accountant, if the procurement gives you a figure, you go back and check. And where is your internal auditor? And Madam Internal Auditor, did you okay this?
As
Now,
accounting officer is aware.
The people I want are the following: internal auditor, procurement officer, principal accountant, and the executive person.
And the procurement.
Accounting officer.
I've said internal auditor, procurement officer, principal accountant, and
the accounting officer.
And the accounting officer.
Four.
The four of you, you need to explain to this committee that you do not conspire to cause a loss. And we are being moderate to call it a loss.
Honorable Chair, I wanted to give you information that on the very form that we are talking about, there is a slot for confirmation of availability of funding by the accounting officer. And one doubts how an accounting officer confirms availability of funding that is not within the budget.
One simple thing. I wanted to share experience with the planner, the head of the planning unit of this institution. When I look at item 13...
But I do have a plan also. The planner here, you added to a team.
Mr. Chairman, when I look at item 13, it relates to repair and service of LDC motor vehicles. And item 14, the branding, photographing, and videography. My challenge as a person who hails from a disadvantaged or hard to reach area is that when a planning unit advises the institution, the user agents, to spend money on this item 14, when the institution is a number of vehicles they know are grounded, or some of them have even packed them, they can't run them. The prioritization, of course, with budgeting and appropriation, when you bring these items to the Committee of Parliament, they will pass the money. They may not have time, or it may be on a rush hour. But would you as a planner have chosen to ignore the vehicles that are grounded or that are parked and spend money on item 14 and ignore item 13, in your opinion?
Honorable Kabusu, to repeat a little bit, I was consulting. You see, whatever I want to do, decision I want to take, I consult the legal officer. I'm not a lawyer. So that's why I'm attached, the auditors, the legal officer, CID, all these officers. Quite often you've seen me consult Salongo is from Auditor General's office. The one from Accountant General, is he here? Arnold, I think is not here. So can we get responses from now we added another person. We added who? And my brother, I've not forgotten you yesterday also. You may think I'd forgotten. No. You need to convince us that we don't really send you to CID straight away. Sir,
Thank you. Thank you.
To listen to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I really seek your indulgence to just give me a little time to explain, because there are lots of issues that have been raised, and I do appreciate the seriousness of the issues raised. But one thing I need to comment is that I was indeed accounting officer at LDC for 12 years, and before that at the Law Reform Commission for 3 years. So I've been an accounting officer for 15 years. So I don't have the benefit or excuse of saying, but it is ignorance. But I know that each time we have, before even this final report is made, the Auditor General's office makes their findings and engages the accounting officer to explain, and I know that many queries are dropped because some of these things can be explained. The first time I'm being engaged is before this committee. Auditor General will tell you. As accounting officer, I was never engaged to say, give these explanations, and there are things which could have been dropped. When I look at this report, and the first time I was invited to appear before this committee, I even asked for the documents. I hadn't even received the documents. So I came here without, the first time I was supposed to appear, I didn't even know what I was coming to answer, but I said I'll come anyway. So honestly, in all fairness, as an accounting officer for that period, I would have been engaged and given an opportunity to explain some of these things. But nevertheless, I will try to explain.
Can I just inquire from that?
Yes.
Do you want me to go for management later? Because where you are reading us is to say, okay, sir, give us your management letter, and we reassess you fresh from the questions as the auditor raised them. Do you want to go that far?
Chair, that is not for me, and I wouldn't want to go in that direction. But I think it is important as we are. But I'm going to explain these issues in just 2 minutes, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, not just 2 minutes. You have all the time.
Chair.
Because the matter is grave.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair, the accounting officer is alluding to the fact that he was not consulted. And when you tell him that, do you want us to take another direction, he's also refusing it. Where does he want to belong before he begins answering? Because it looks like he's not ready for these questions, and he's also not ready to go for that other issue that you have just raised.
And let me just comfort you, is that by the time of the audit, you are no longer an accounting officer. But the law requires, because the accounting officer at desk, madam, together with the staff, they responded to the management questions as they were raised. And these queries were not dropped. Now, the reason why you are here, even you have retired, the reason why you are here is that at that time, you occasioned and made these decisions.
Yes.
Okay? And therefore, the buck stops with me. That's why you are here. Okay. Basically, they couldn't have consulted you because did they have a dispute? Were they disputing these transactions? Were they done? Are these transactions not done? Yeah. Unless you are saying some of these transactions were not done.
I'm not disputing them. Now, I'm just offering the explanation that the committee has asked of me.
Yeah, now let's place the matters where you are. Okay. You are actually required not to have, the law, fairness demanded they should have given you a report and given you a brief of what the audit process was about. And at the time of exit, they ought to have called you, okay, in a meeting. But that's your internal thing. For us, you are now at the tail end. Yeah. Yes.
First of all, apologies because of state duties. Yeah, state duties. If I try to explain, I will delay the committee. So let me go straight to my issue. Mr. Chairman, I want to agree with the accounting officer emeritus. You know, fairness demands that people are given opportunity. And I would love to find out from the sitting accounting officer whether at the time of the commencement of the audit process, you did communicate to the outgone accounting officer. Because it is very, very important that it should have been in the know. The very way the rest of the people had an opportunity of accessing the management letter, so that you have the preliminaries, you respond, you go to the preliminary about what and then exit. But he had no opportunity. So, Chair, of course, it doesn't exonerate him from the responsibility. But it was very, very important that he was given that word, should have been given that opportunity. So I don't know, through your wisdom, what we can do, but the truth is, fairness demands that people are given opportunity to speak out. I'm now speaking as a prayer warrior and a person who feels, what about if I was the one there? Would I feel fairly treated? So love to get a response from the accounting officer sitting, whether they did communicate to the outgoing accounting officer in time to tell him that audit is starting now, you are the person who was there, please be around to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and Honourable Member who has asked a question. No, we did not, as he has said. He learnt about this when he was summoned for that. And for that, I apologize. It didn't happen. I take the guidance that should someone have changed, then we should have invited him. It didn't happen. Thank you. And I apologize to Frank.
But the fact is, it doesn't take away that these transactions occurred. And that while they were occurring, you were in the know, you were in charge, and you okayed them. Because I don't think you were principal signatory to the accounts of this institution. You approve everything that takes up here. So, yes, misstep here, and I'm not so quite convinced that they need to call the former accounting officer to explain. It is at this point where we insist that the law requires you. Otherwise, she signed. You are not even the one who signed. She signed. So I'm not so sure that the law requires him to be part, because these institutions are run without, but that is, those are procedural matters. The fact is, there are fundamental issues at hand, which you need to explain, and good enough,
I will explain
this committee, I will request them to keep quiet and give you a cool 15 minutes.
Chair, before he comes, just to help you. Chair, in this institution, there were procurement officers who were working under him. Wouldn't it be prudent that we also first listen from them, because they work together? How would they go into this audit alone without inviting their boss who was releasing the monies to them?
Yeah, but
wouldn't it be prudent that we first begin with them,
I think
so that he gives the...
I think I name-checked the following people. I name-checked the internal auditor. I did the planner. I name-checked the procurement officer. I name-checked the principal accountant. Because those are the ones that prepared these documents that we are looking at. They are the ones who looked at the management letter, prepared the responses, interacted with the auditor all through, and the big boss normally comes at the tail end. And they convinced her to sign the thoroughness and completeness of the figures in the audit report.
Chair, you are very right, because the accounting officer left the files behind, did not move with anything. So if the officers felt it important, they ought to have reached him if there was a document missing. But he left all the files. Actually, we thank you. You left everything in place for them to conduct the exercise.
Yeah. And you are free during your submission to ask the people I've name checked or any other.
Yeah.
Because do you have a legal person internally? Forget about this lawyer on land. You don't have.
No. No.
So the thing is that you know the law.
Yes.
Yes. Self-contained.
So, Chair, I will ask Manager Administration to prepare to answer about these different remodelings and renovations that are being done.
Actually, I even forgot there was some gentleman called Secretary.
Secretary is with us here also.
You are also part of the group.
All this. So, the first thing I will say, Chair, is that in the year under review, LDC got a supplementary budget of 1.9 billion shillings. Now, by the time we made these plans, we didn't have that supplementary, because supplementary is not something you plan for. But we later got a supplementary of 1.9 billion. That supplementary budget has activities along these lines where some of these items are. So it would be useful for us to also look at the supplementary and see how much extra, because we went and said maybe we needed extra money for this and for that. The budget line, that one already head finance has talked about it.
No, that one.
That one you said.
Let me clear you
yes.
on that one.
Yes.
By the time they are looking at these figures, the Auditor General looks at a revised budget.
Yes.
Eh? It doesn't look at the initial budget. And you'll see when you go back to, when you go back to where did section 2 start? Section 2, where did section 2 start? And there was that table. When you look at, it talks about a total budget. A total budget, in this case, is not, he did not speak to a revised budget, but a total budget is when you have inputted a supplementary. And at the close of June, you are looking at all the monies that were availed to the institution. So these figures, as they are, take care, they are inputted with the revised budget. So there's nothing like saying there were supplementaries to this. No, by the categorization, by the time of the audit, they have inputted all the monies on those lines.
But Chair, I would still want us to sort of take interest in that and see whether the procurement office actually made that adjustment. I think that is something maybe procurement.
Let him answer straight, because we need to clear.
We'll be able to answer.
Procurement. Actually, it is the planner. Planner and pass and the principal accountant. Did you, by these figures you are looking at, are they inputted with the supplementary funding that you got? And look at the appropriation. Because the appropriation in accounts, don't forget about Salon, we look at the appropriation in the books of accounts.
When we got the supplementary, it was adjusted.
So,
because you know that when we are budgeting, we go to indicate the columns.
Where you are going to say, approve the budget, 2 billion. Revised, 2.5. So that we are together. So you can refer us to where you revised this one. Show us the document, refers to any document.
No, so but you are taking, we are moving in circles. I asked you at the beginning of this audit, when you reached section 2, I referred you to table 3. Table 3, and I asked, is this figure correct? He said, you had a total budget. Whether I revised or initial, you had a total budget of 34.21, and all of it was warranted. You said yes. So that question of revised or non-revised?
Okay. Accountants here, no. It is the structure. That is how we are supposed to present figures. If you are revising a budget, there has to be 2 columns. Column for approved budget initially, then a column for revised. Before you reach the total, we should know how you reach to that total. You don't just give us a total figure, no. Teachers used to ask us about workings. They don't just give you naked answers, I mean marks. They will go to ask you about your workings. How did you reach there? So approved and revised before you reach to the total.
Actually, those 3 columns are there. There should be initial budget, adjustment because of a parameter, and total revised
budget. Yes.
On every column, and where monies are on each is always indicated. But be as it is now.
Yes.
Not to delay. Yeah. The figures we are looking at are the total approved budgets for this entity. Yes, the figures that were used for procurement took care of the adjustments.
Okay.
On the face of it, unless you convince us otherwise.
Yes, Chair. And as I said, you explained the whole procurement process. And if we look at the source documents, which eventually we're going to look at, there will be, there is no approval that the accounting officer made without being informed that the budget line is available, there are resources against that budget line. This one of Lira, I think that is just an error. We need to check, Chair. It is just an error to say that there's no figure in the plan. We shall confirm. For the back course dinner, Honorable, first of all, the numbers of students we are talking about are very different from some of the other institutions. Here, that dinner, we are talking about a dinner for 1,200 people. So it's not a dinner for a small back, and this was a dinner at that hotel, yes. And so you know that in some hotels, even the food alone might be about 80,000 and all that. So 100 million was for the whole dinner. It was not just for hire of venue. It included the hire of venue and the meals, and the students did not pay any money at all towards this. It came from their fees, which they paid. So part of that we say we're going to give you this dinner to interact with senior lawyers in town before you go into the field.
So it came from their fees, which means there was
indirectly.
a charge. There was not a direct one.
No, the fee is a block sum of 6 million for the year, and that one they pay to URA to go to the consolidated fund. But when we are budgeting, we sort of know that within that we are going to give them this professional dinner. So it's a big number. So 100 million is dinner for 1,200 people. So it's a at Imperial Royal.
Chair, that takes me to my next question.
No, first,
at Imperial Royal, do we have a hall that can accommodate 1,000 students for a dinner?
There is one which accommodates, I think, almost 1,500. Their biggest hall down there, and you will find
with
that every
tables
year.
For dinner, you can have 1,000 people.
Yes, you can.
But the question is, as it is here on the procurement, and let me take you for what it is.
Yes.
It is venue during back course professional dinner.
Yes.
You paid 100 million.
So again, it is the wording.
I'm saying for what it is.
Yes.
And I stand to be collected.
Yes. Yes.
The figure of 100 million, honorable colleagues, from the procurement, you are procuring a venue. You go down to LDC, same code, but different procurement. Then you procure the drinks, dinner, ushers during back course professional dinner, Kampala campus.
Yes.
You spent another 92 million.
Yes.
I'm now looking at the cost of that dinner. Then you go up here, I guess this branding, photographing and video of 77 may be also speaking for that dinner. You go to publicity equipment at Kampala campus, 70 may be speaking to that dinner. Now, the question is, you need to convince us that this 100 million was not for venue. But when I look at it here, you and me read English.
I appreciate, Chair.
Yes.
Even somebody who looks at it and looks at venue will say this money must be for venue. I think at times it is nomenclature, and at times even the codes, when you look at these codes, they don't tell the whole story. So the code will be there for venue, and that is what we are charging again.
You see, what happens during the exit meeting,
yes,
okay,
yes,
is that the auditors availed these smaller details.
Exactly.
And that's why you have those meetings.
And now I'm giving the details here,
now,
which I should have given to them.
No, what I'm saying, for you to give us the detail, is to lay on table the invoice. And I think say we were invoiced for dinner, but the dinner included meals. I know that in hotel management, venue may include meals.
Yes.
That's a nomenclature you can easily get. Yes. But for you to say, to achieve that, then you've got to put an invoice that speaks to that fact that this procurement included meals. And for 1,000 people,
1,020, yes.
It's a fairly,
Yes. About
it can
100,000
fly.
per person.
It can fly. But for you to convince us that you didn't pay for venue only, it's an invoice.
I agree. Okay.
Without many words.
I agree,
now,
Chair.
Then you've got to tell us.
Invoices.
You've got to tell us what you are doing for dinner, drinks, ushers, backhouse, professional dinner, still Kampala. Why you paid another 92?
Yes.
Okay? So that's why I said the big question mark is on reading 11, and that is what also Sarah spoke to. It was walk us through 11 and 9.
Chair, 9, we did the big dinner at Imperial Royal. We had planned for 100 million. As you said, we ended up spending 105. So the next graduation, and we have different intakes of students. The next one, we said, perhaps if we hold it here, we had that ground which had now been prepared. Yes, yes. We said now if we do at the grounds, maybe we'll save money. But it ended up also costing almost the same. We saved a little bit. But if you still had to hire those huge tents, you know, a tent for 1,200 people, you end up spending even more than 20, 30 million on tents. So you save money on the meals of the hotel, but you have to hire the tents. You don't have tables, you don't have so we had to hire all those things. But your question is, are these two the same? Because they look like it's the same. We shall get the invoices to show that these are two different graduation ceremonies.
So you normally have two graduations during the year?
In that, actually, professional dinner. Sorry, professional dinner.
You normally have two?
It is one in an academic year, but some academic years spill into the next one. Yeah. So
Chair, this is an institution, and I am very sure that every institution has its plans, and you know clearly that in LDC we have, for example, graduations during this month and this month. Now, to say that some graduations in some years, it's like it's just haphazard. It's something that just comes up. You must have planned for these graduations, knowing that the financial year runs from July to June the next year. Yes. So you can't say that some years. What are the graduation months, for example, if I may ask? If I ask for the previous financial year that we just concluded.
That particular year actually had two, because we had a graduation, was it in April? Then we had another one in December of last year. So last calendar year there were two graduations.
Madam.
Last calendar year.
They are not fixed. The graduation
even
dates
that
are not
settles
fixed.
you, madam, even if, so just take us, you had two in a year, one in April, and another one, now madam, December is a different financial year. No. That's why we're asking. This is an audit report for the year ended, unless you had
June.
One for the year ended June. Unless you say, and I want to correct you, that you had one in December of 2023, then you had one in April of 2024. There you can speak about the same financial year. But if you say you had one in April, July, and another one in December, then those are two different financial years.
But Chair, we would be asking them to find out when they withdrew the money for payment, or if you drew the check, what was it in terms of the date?
Yes, I'll get the exact date and the invoices are there. But there were two dinners. One was in July of 2023, and then the other one was, I think, May, June. Well, I'll get the exact of 2024.
Chair, we are in the campus here, and he has people who are working with him. Yes. What is this I will get, that you cannot tender so that we can look at it and go over it and leave it there? Why are you waiting to give later? Can we have those documents? You have assistants here. We should be giving them whatever you say they should tender in. Why are you saying I will get? Where are you going to get them from?
I'm going to
I
ask
thought you left them here.
my sister. I cannot direct them. I'll have to ask my sister too.
But your sister knows that this is an audit query that is being answered here. And if you are referring to such documents, they are property of this institution. And therefore, they should be provided because this is the Committee of Parliament. They are actually...
By the Council, let's say I did give you that black file where the details of each of these procurement, the date and everything is there. But to make our work easy, these are simple. It's asking you. You can tell us even in a simple thing, go and tell us the date.
Yes.
When you had this venue, when you drew the check to pay. 2 things.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I'll do that.
I think remaining.
I think it was electronic transfer.
The bank statement can do. Even just the bank statement, what a financial year they do can do. So you shall know when you credited or debited your account, and you can be able to do it one line.
Thank you. Then the senior public relations officer is here. You asked about that equipment. He can explain what that equipment are, whether there are things that we have in the unit. Ms. Obonyo.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Items 14 and 15, there's branding, photographing, and videography. Then there's publicity equipment and Kampala campus. Chair, we never hired exquisite brand to do for us photography or any publicity work. When LDC set up this office in May 2022, there was nothing, no equipment. And so we sat and planned and budgeted for items require, basic items that we require for publicity office. And so this financial year that was audited 2023-2024, we procured a number of items, and I think this is because of the wording, especially 14, branding, photographing, and videography. We bought a number of things, including, I can just mention a few, banners, and those banners, some of them are right at the back. We also bought some for Kampala campus and all the other campuses. It was a major procurement that we had. Photography and videography, we bought our cameras. We now do live streaming for graduation and all these other functions. We do not hire a service provider to do that for us. Publicity equipment at Kampala campus, it's the same thing. We did in 2 ways. The procurement happened in different quarters. So I just need to maybe know to get the details that happened in this quarter, then also in another quarter. But this was a major procurement that we did to equip our office because there was nothing completely.
Who provided you with these services? Who was the service provider?
It is exquisite branding that was the supplier of all these items. So we did not hire them to come and do for us the work. We do it ourselves.
So you got the equipment?
Yes, we bought the equipment. We bought the banners, the teardrops, the backdrop banners, the pull-up banners. They are all there. Some are in Kampala campus.
At a sum total of like 150?
Yes. It was actually, we had planned for 190, but the plans, the available funds were this figure that we have.
What did you buy?
We bought cameras, both video and still. They are all there in the cabin. We bought microphones. We bought frames. They are called, they are frames that we put all our key messages, for example, the themes, the vision. There's one right at the back there. Mandate, yes. So those are the form boards. The form boards.
You bought these ones?
You see the backdrop banner?
This one?
Yes, that's the big one. And then there's also the form board where you see the mandate.
So how much?
That one is between 2.5 and 3 million shillings. The backdrop banner. It has a stand. Chair, it has a stand.
No, but it's hanging here.
No, the stand is there. No, at the moment, it's only me who can put up that banner. So yesterday I requested my director to allow me to go for the burial. So I requested somebody to put up that for us. But the stand is there. So it is between 2.5 and 3 million. So there was...
What is the cost of this one?
Pardon?
You know we do these things.
But Honorable Chair, he has said it is between 2.5 and 3. Doesn't he know how much it costed him to acquire it?
No, I'm saying 2.5 to 3 million because it keeps varying. The price keeps varying. Right now, when you say 2.5...
For you, at what cost did you
We
get
bought it at 2.5 million.
Thank you.
Yes. Depending on the size. But the point is that we did not hire anybody to do for us any publicity. We stocked the unit with the gadgets that we need, the lapel mics, the HDMI cables that we use for live streaming, and also the lenses, different types of lenses. There are those long-range lenses.
Which lenses?
Yes?
You bought which lenses?
They are smaller lenses of about between 50 millimeters.
And you bought it at what? At how much?
The lenses cost 2.5 million shillings.
Okay.
Yes. Then we also have the long range.
But those are very poor lenses, sir. What are they going to do for you? the ones of 2.5.
Chair, it depends on the kind of function.
You know, among people here, we do a lot of business, so don't worry, we may know the price. Lenses of 2.5, ask these fellows, are very poor lenses.
Chair, it is not just a lens of 2.5, but what I was saying is that there are different circumstances that you need a different lens. There are also long-range lenses, there are short-range lenses. So
in short,
yes,
the characterization of the procurement was for branding,
yes,
photographing and video.
Yes,
and then you needed equipment.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay. We can pack that. Honorable colleagues, you can pack that. Is a little bit. There's some product output there.
But
value for money is a different thing.
Honorable Chair.
Yes, somehow good output there.
Chair, can I take you back to output is bad.
No, but still where you want us, where you want, you can get us some of the lenses.
Some of the documents.
Chair, I think for me I'm satisfied. I'm the one who asked that question.
But you asked for the whole committee.
Yes.
Let's leave it at that.
Chair, can I take you back to...
But can we first...
To this issue?
Yeah, but you see, can we go back to the big elephant in the room?
Of the dinner, can I take... I've looked at the documents.
Yes.
I have looked at these documents, Form 5. Chair, can I be corrected? Which audit year are we looking at?
2023-24.
2023-2024. I have looked at Form 5 for the dinner that was held at Kampala campus. And this was a requisition by the LO, SAO, Maureen Kemgabo.
Are you around?
She was a student affairs officer. She's not here.
Yes, Chair, this requisition is dated 30th June 2023.
30th June?
June.
Okay, just on the eve, okay.
Yes, 2023. And from the documents that I have seen, the budget estimate was 156 million. And according to this document, this was a local purchase order dated 22nd November 2023. And the delivery period should have been 22nd November 2023. So this took place in November 2023, I am assuming.
I assume so as well, Honorable.
Okay.
Then the second one, Chair.
Let's go.
The second one at Imperial Royal Hotel. This was a local purchase order dated July 19th, 2024, which is a different financial year. July 2024, which is a different financial year. And according to this memo, the request was dated 18th April 2024, and the activity was scheduled for 5th July 2024. So this is outside the financial year in question.
Let me look at the Auditor General's report. You see, the effect. No, don't worry about that. Don't worry about there was a change in the Auditor General's reporting period. This Auditor General's report is for the year ended December 2024. So they capture for up to date. They now try to give accountability that by the time of reporting, they report up to date. Yeah, they report up to date.
So these are dinners included.
Because the one of June, I think that is, she said something June, the first one, is offline.
The question is, the one of June, which you authorized the payment, but they authorized payment on the end of June, end of a financial year. So that year was which year? 2022-23.
2024.
Eh?
It was June of 2024.
Before you explain, that one is offside, in my opinion. Because you are talking of 30th
June 2023. 30th June 2023 belongs to the audits of 2022-2023. And therefore, there is no way it could cross over to July. Because that is the boundary, 30th June. So that one is the offside.
When the payment was effected?
It's about appropriation. You have money, you appropriate because you have the resources. That's why I'm saying the big elephant in the room here, where you need to convince this committee, where did you get the 600 million? Over and above what was appropriated to you, and you spent it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
I've looked at the 17 procurement under review and the budget allocated to it within the appropriation and what you actually spent. You spent over and above the appropriation. Did you get the authority? Show us the evidence if you got the authority, and where did you get the funds? Because even if you minus, and you know you make a saving here, you add an addition here, still you have 5.2 billion. The total appropriated money to you is 4 billion point 4,
yeah.
point 6, 0.7, and here you have 5.2 billion.
And Chair,
so that balance, you need to tell us the magic you did to get the money.
Chair, through you, I would love to request colleagues this side that we totally go silent so that we give him the time. Because thinking about the figures of the other years, it's not easy. We totally, even me, I'm switching off my microphone so that we give you the opportunity to submit. Thank you.
Yes, Chair. Again, after the other officers have spoken, I'll just say something to wind up. But on this specific question of 600 million, I do apologize that we didn't get that authorization, but we spent within the same budget lines for those activities. So it was savings from one activity, balancing up. As we said, for instance, for construction, non-residential, we had 5 billion. So we spent within that 5 billion. So for the roads and all that, we spent a little more and we spent a little less on other activities, as explained. I sincerely apologize, Chair. It was inadvertent, and we should have gotten that prior clearance.
First, did you advise the accounting officer that there was no money on those lines as he went on approval?
No, by the time the requests came in for those activities, there were those savings. So, I would
yeah, planner, did you do your work? Because you are the people in the engine room.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, my role as a planner is to compile the departmental budgets, and then when I'm done compiling, we have Finance and Planning Committee, which sits several times to review what has been compiled, and we prioritize. I'm trying to also answer Honorable Kabusu's question.
First, answer mine.
Okay.
Answer the chair's question.
Yes, and every quarter we assess the performance. What is the performance per quarter? What are the activities that were planned versus what has been implemented? Reasons for variation. Chair, all those discussed in finance and planning.
So you threw the accounting office under the internal auditor?
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Mine as an internal auditor, I'm an end person. Once everything has been done, like for example, the works have been done, we go with a technical person to look at the stage of completion, what has been done. And then the procurement person makes sure she prepares the payment with all the relevant documents. They come to internal audit. We look at everything. Have all the relevant documents been attached? The LPOs, the contracts, the invoices. Have the goods been...
Do you also put into consideration the appropriation?
Yes, we do.
And you found it okay?
No, Chair.
Do you have an internal report that speaks to that?
And normally, Chair, we come up with quarterly internal audit reports.
Do you have a quarterly report where you are raising a red flag?
Yes, Chair.
You have it?
I have copies of my quarterly internal audit report.
Where you are raising a red flag that the institution was spending money outside the law, outside the budget lines. Do you have that line anywhere?
No, Chair.
Did you do your work well? Because they rely on you for a lot. As the quarter is drawing, not so, the internal auditor warns you and says, please, you are treading careful, you are going into a dangerous line. It's like these days when you are reversing with cars with the cameras. There is the one that says you green, there is the one that says you red. You are the red person there to say.
And the red comes with some noise.
Red comes with some noise. Now, you ought to, your work is to raise some noise. Do you know what they call conspiracy to commit a crime? Ask this lawyer. Now, if you are in my chair, what would you do with to treat this impunity, where the internal systems completely don't work? Administrator, what did you do?
Honorable Chair, it was not brought to my attention.
You are like Jesus. In the morning you shall deny. You know, Jesus said, by morning, all of you who are here, would have denied. Honorable colleagues, what do we do with we need to take a stand. Okay?
Yeah, first of all, the internal auditor has a big stake here because she ought to have raised the red flag. She had the yellow and red cards, but she decided to pocket both. She has an issue. Number two, the planner is the person who is well versed with the figures, knows what to do. When you are revising a budget, when you want to change the lines, you should have advised. Number three, actually the principal person is the accountant, because that's the person dealing with the figures. Most often the accounting officers are just given final documents for signature. And some of those people don't want even accounting officers to waste the time. They just tell them sign. And they've got to sign. It happens, by the way. If you are weak, you just sign. So, Chair, I think we just maintain this query until they bring us any answer before write the report, if it's possible. But what I see from the answers that they have, the query stands. There is no good satisfactory answer coming from the other side at all. They have been found in a black corner.
No. Okay, Honorable Kabusu, aren't you conflicted being a former student?
Mr. Chairman, that is where I wanted to say. But Mr. Chairman, having taken an oath
and you know our rules
to protect and defend this constitution, Mr. Chairman, I will not go into that line. However, like you have asked, what do we do now? We have listened. We shall take a stand when we convene as a committee at an appropriate time, Mr. Chairman.
By this one, we have concluded. There's no stand we are taking.
Mr. Chairman, you have already written a report.
No, forget about the report. The conclusion is clear. Honorable...
Mr. Chairman, but before I would take away the microphone from me, I have training in media and journalism myself, and that conflicts me also. But I would have wanted to look at the cameras and the lenses. Personally, I don't know whether from here or where they are kept, such that I also have to see value for money itself.
You've seen these ones on nails and they have stands. These bind ones. And you knew we were coming here, and you know these were queries. My brother, you had an issue. You know, I want to conclude this issue. You had an issue to answer. Multi-year issue. This one spent money on printing. Eh? Okay. Now, be as it may, of course, you were straight CID case. I don't know why these colleagues are being very conservative.
Chair, Chair, on the issue of printing.
Yes.
There's a whistleblower that these books, as well as they say, are printed from.
No, don't worry, we are going there. We are going to the printing press. Yes. That's where we are starting our journey of touring.
Okay.
Because the information that is coming through is that you are not being very fair and honest with us.
Yes.
On what you are printing here and not printing here. You
yes.
better become good on that before we find out.
Those are NASA books.
Before we find out. You know, we have friends, we have relatives here. We know now what is going on here. That's why, Madam, I want to help, as I've discussed with you, this will help you bring reforms in this institution. That's why we spend a little bit of time. There's an institution we also want to round up called the Chambogo University. We want, much as we are busy, we are going to spare like 4 days because that impunity in that university needs to be brought to an end. we hope that this helps you out. Being LDC and everywhere, you know what we stand on. But if we sustain the query, and we will make our report. But just count yourself so lucky.
Chair, if I can I make a 1 minute just closing statement?
No, we are not closing.
Personal.
We are not closing.
I heard the ruling.
No. We have just concluded on the procurement, which was the big query. Now we are at this thing of the publishing. Did we conclude on it? The publishing query, the publishing machinery, where you are losing money, where you have equipment bought, equipment not working, redundant up to now, and I see some activity there. I want to thank this committee when, and they didn't invite us actually, when we shake up last year the military on Umbuya Hospital. My understanding is that it has been launched, and that's a credit which this committee took up. When we toured it, realized it was a ghost thing. Somehow the ghosts wake up, and we have now a hospital running. So please, thank you for good work. For which one? Yes. Yeah, I think but we are going to have a tour of that publishing thing. Then afterwards, in accounts, do you have queries in books of accounts? Are there diversions and mischarges?
So the aspect of recognition, the accountant, you know this. We don't know how you treat the figures. When you have earned revenue, and then the one you have already got, how do you recognize? That's one concern that we had. I don't know whether.
Okay, for books of account, we shall look at them, and if there are issues, we shall pick them up by ourselves. Can we go and do the tour, starting with the publishing printer? Then we proceed with the land, and we call it a day from the land. We shall, and I'm going to request for some assignment, Madam Chairperson. You take over that whole leg. I have an assignment somewhere. You take charge. So you are going to be in charge of the deputy chairperson, and she will see you off. So from right now, she takes over from me, and she will direct what to do next.
You are requested for 1 minute.
No, the 1 minute she will give in the field. No, there is the chairperson. She can take over and give her 1 minute. Thank you, but next time we are here, don't forget to fumigate this hall. Mosquitoes have really harassed us a lot. I don't know whether you people... No. Only for me, I don't know why.
Accounting Secretary, do you have anything to say as we conclude?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. It may not be directly related to the audit, but I think it's important. I just have a 1 minute to make this statement. And when we started the engagement, the first time I appeared before this committee, we did go into the issue of how we've cooperated with the committee, and I think that one was handled by the chair. And I really just want to stress the fact, Madam Chair, that I've given this committee every cooperation that they want. The other statement I wanted to make is that, yes, indeed, it has been mentioned several times that I retired here. But I joined the government service in 1994, and I retired last year in April after 30 years of service, including 15 years as an accounting officer, 12 years at LDC. And Madam Chair, if we look at let me look specifically at my role as accounting officer. I had 15 years of unqualified audits, 15 years of really running institutions, including the Royal Reform Commission and here. So I would not change my sport. That now in the last year when I'm retiring is when, you know, so I've really laid out everything openly. But I know that as an accounting officer here, that was not my only role. I was also director responsible for students' matters and things to do with exams and all that. And I know that that has perhaps also had an impact. And by the time I was leaving in April, the financial year, you know, wasn't over, but I had to finish up. And then Mr. Shamsi took over, became accounting officer for the last 2 months of this period. And then after that, my sister became accounting officer, and she had just joined the institute. So there was that transition, which perhaps could explain how maybe certain procedures need to go through. But Madam Chair, I retired at the age of 57, but I wouldn't say I am tired. And even as we speak, I do not believe that my service to this country is over. And I know that there are many other responsibilities I may be called upon to serve in this country. As a senior lawyer, as a senior professional, who has my professional name to safeguard. So for me, it is really in my interest to have this matter concluded, so that it can also be easier for me to take up the other opportunities that I may not need to mention before this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Accounting Officer, all you said is noted, and I should say the beauty with being an accounting officer is you are given a technical team to work with. And for the staff that side, we cannot say that all belongs to the accounting officer. So you are equally held responsible for whatever happened. So in simplicity, you have some gaps within the administration, and everyone should be a gatekeeper in your own areas. Issues of procurement, I mean, you should advise the accounting officer accordingly. Issues of planning, so everyone should do their part. I'm telling you, Silas said, at times you bring things to the accounting officer to sign. Accounting officer is not a professional in procurement. The accounting officer purely relies on your advice as a technical person. That is why, when you are appearing before these committees, we tell you to come with the necessary team, so that these people can know that whatever is done is on your behalf, but they are held accountable and responsible for whatever happens in their docket. And the current accounting officer, we have observed, for their under review, you had serious gaps within your administration. And the technical bench, it's up to you to look out for capacity building where you feel it is necessary. We believe in continuous improvement in whatever we do. We are not here to really, cause havoc in the institution, but for the beauty of serving the country better. So for the current accounting officer, do you have anything to say in addition to what the accounting officer emeritus has said? If you have anything to tell us, we do proceed. Because formally, this engagement, yes, we are proceeding, but on record, we are ending here.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair, Vice Chair and members. We thank you for your engagement, and I liked what you said. It's about continuous improvement, and we are pledging to take very seriously all the recommendations that you have made. Clearly, there are gaps. We can all see them. And I think this has been a good exercise, even for the officers, to know that it's not only about the accounting officer. Everybody must do their work and do it diligently. We're here to serve, we're here to account and give value for money. So I thank you for the 5 days. It's been 5 days of engagement. It's been brutal on our part, but sometimes you need to go through that in order to improve. And we are hoping that the next audit will reflect the effort that you have put in and the effort that we will put in to improve. Thank you very much for God and my country.
To my team, these are the side honorable members, want to thank you for this engagement that has taken us close to 3 days, though she says 5, but There are not 5 of such, but from the other side, it makes it 5. It has been not brutal, but a friendly moment in the interest of serving the country. So, accounting officer, it can't be brutal. Otherwise, some of you would have been somewhere today. It wouldn't have been having you here. The technical bench, I want to thank you. The media, please, thanks for doing your part. As we do leave this place, we hope that similar queries do not surface in the next audit. That will be 24, 25, hopefully. Something?
They should be working on them now.
Yes, Honorable.
Chair, I just wanted to tell the former director. He's saying he was an accounting officer and has worked for over 30 years, I think. And he's maybe lucky that because of the backlog, maybe PAC could not scrutinize his accounts. But this time we paid attention to LDC. So it's not that there were not issues. These are issues that are supposed to be done every financial year. However, because of the huge backlog and the limited time within which PAC is supposed to operate, that's why we thought such an institution may be okay, and sometimes, so this time we had to pay attention. And the chair informed you that last financial year we had actually requested you to appear, but somehow he appeared.
We also invited someone to him. And also
so you can see there have been issues, but somehow we're not able to
Honorable
scrutinize them.
Honorable Grania, something in brief as we proceed to the field.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, just to add and to emphasize the fact that whenever there are such spilling over queries that need to be attended to by former accounting officers, the current accounting officer should actually inform the previous accounting officer early in time for them to prepare to avoid such explanations that have been coming from the former accounting officer, because you see that he has the information. Had he been given time earlier on, could be he would have given a better explanation. I thank you, Madam Chair.
Honorable Bangura.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, this is a learning experience for all of us, but also for the good of our nation at large. You will recall I said here that we run a cash budget. This now causes a lot of pressure on the available resources that we have as a nation. So take keen interest in your plans. But also, we don't come to look for mistakes. For as long as we have appropriated resources to you, we must come and follow to the dot the plans that you gave us in relation to the resources that you appropriated to you. So for that reason, always pay attention. But there's one important thing that accounting officer now and your team must pay a lot of attention on. The exit meeting. Many times you people don't pay attention to the details that are raised by the Auditor General. And we don't want to come here and start another audit. Some of us are not very professional in that line. You know what it means to remain in senior six. You know what it means. But you make us again start to become auditors here, which should have been concluded at the time of the audit, and the attention paid during the exit. Those details that you leave hanging in the exit meeting are the details that end up being queries, and you can see 3 days, 5 days for all of us is time that has not been good. But also I conclude by saying, whereas we've been bruised in the recent few days, as you've heard, we are in the tribunal here and there. But we have another opportunity again. We shall be with you. We shall be with you not long from now.
Okay.
Yes, immediately this audit ends, we are going to be with you. So let's not repeat another 5 days again here. I thank you very much.
And whether it's us or not, the country doesn't end with us. Some other team will carry on with the assignment. Yes, Honorable Silas.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity. Even when we have queries, there is that good part of you that you have done, and the country needs to recognize. And I think we also want to thank the outgoing accounting officer. 15 years, it's not a joke. Colleagues, I had been in local government some time back. I know what it means to be on the other side. So there is that good part of you. I am the person moving the National Legal Aid Bill as a private member. And I know that LDC, I think, has that component. You provide the legal aid. Yes. So I'm aware of what you are doing in this country, and I want to appreciate. But I want to call upon the internal auditor to take your work seriously. And nobody should cow you down. Those internal audit reports give a bearing to the Auditor General even when they come in, because it shows where you have been having what? Challenges. If the internal controls die early, the whole system is gone. And I can tell you there is nothing you can bend here, and this committee fails to notice. Whatever you do, you can't hide from our little eyes. So please help us. The planner, you have a big duty. Those figures, much as you are the one consolidating, compiling, you have a say because you're a senior person. You should be guiding. So we are really eyes on you. And the principal accountant, you are the real person who the accounting officer depends on. So if you don't do a professional service and you leave the juniors only to work on figures without you giving attention, then you are both dead. Because one time you are lucky, like she said, none of you has gone to the other side. Maybe you'd have reported to the wrong side. So we should count ourselves lucky, but let us take work serious, attend to details, and take auditors seriously. When they say audit and then you are busy, that you have flights. For us, we don't fly, by the way, we are just here. Please, let us attend to audit. It is very, very important. I want to thank the two accounting officers. Chair, thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless all of you for God and my country.
Thank you, honorable colleagues. Team, we have come to conclusion of this engagement. We thank you, team, that side, for the time you've accorded us. For us, we believe the country can continue with or without us. So carry on your duty during the time that you are provided. Others will continue from there. We want to thank you, Accounting Officer Emeritus, for the time that you have given, and the entire team, current Accounting Officer. To the technical, she's the head, but it's your duty to do gatekeeping in your own dockets. And I want to tell you, we are going to hold each one of you accountable for the part that you did play in this audit. Don't lie to yourselves that it will be the accounting officer alone. We know how technical people brag around. You are in procurement and you think you are the final. The accounting officer questions about something, you think, you are above everyone. So the accounting officers, much as accountability is person to hold out on your part as the head of the institution, but each individual technical in their areas, they will be held accountable for whatever was done within their dockets. I want to thank you. The meeting is adjourned as we do proceed to the field. We are beginning with the printery, and then we shall proceed to the land. We have plenary at 2, and I believe by 1:30 we must be done with the engagement. Meeting is adjourned.